Well, welcome into another Wackadoodle Wednesday here at Occupy Democrats. And the breaking story for today is the Trump family. I know, shocker, but this time a little bit more on Don Jr. than Daddy because, you know what they say, like father, like son, apple doesn't fall far from the tree. You are going to want to hear what he just said over in Qatar while they were on their Middle East tour about his future and holy God, potentially our future. I'm going to show that story to you in just a few seconds. But this is the same guy, aside from being Donnie's son, this is the same guy who once did this action while standing in public. Take a look.
That you're going to see on screen here, which is him sort of sticking his finger in his mouth. Again, I still don't know. No, I do.
And yet at the same time, on his show, Triggered, he wanted to sit down with his dad and pretend to do a legitimate interview as if somehow this would solve anything in terms of his image. This.
And I figured with Father's Day coming up, we have a great opportunity to sit with the most powerful father in the world. So I have some interesting questions for you, but we want to show a little bit of humor. So I have a couple questions that I think are on all of the minds of our viewers. So the first one, which is the big one also on my mind, is do you understand irony and how that works?
I do. And I think that you're getting a little hot on Twitter sometimes. It's really, I don't call it Twitter, I call it social media.
Well, yeah, it's an interesting question. There are probably times I regret it, but I've sort of learned, and I think we've probably seen in the last week, sometimes sort of taking it back rather than just owning it is actually worse.
But remember that old game show? Will the real Don Jr. please stand up? Yeah, because this is the real Don Jr. in this breaking story.
Yeah. I have a feeling that if I was Hunter Biden, if I was doing drugs, and if I was videoing it, it would probably be a big deal. I imagine you'd actually see this. I understand that according to the left, I'm the biggest cokehead or whatever it is since ever. They don't really look to their own. It's typical Democrat projection, but I think I know the video you're talking about because I was adjusting an Alp pout, like a Zin. I was adjusting a Zin in my mouth. I'm literally standing next to my father and Elon Musk in front of TV cameras. So just to be clear, not doing coke, okay? That's not my thing, never has been. Contrary to popular belief and internet lore and Democrat histrionics, it's not my thing. And I imagine if I was a big drug user, you'd probably hear about it, folks.
You know how sometimes you see a movie and you think, gosh, that was really terrific. I know they could make a sequel, but boy, I sure hope they don't. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Donald Trump Jr., the sequel. Or maybe even worse, the sequel to where his father currently sits. And in this breaking story, here is the concept of that sequel. I hope you're sitting down.
After President Trump steps down, would you consider picking up the reins? Would you run for office?
Here we go. Well, oh boy. Well, it's an honor to be asked and an honor to see that some people are okay with it.
Those are just our friends in the front
that's
row,
probably
by the
just
way,
a couple people we know.
The team.
Those are the
three
tickets
people
we got.
Yeah, that's it. Right.
You never know. Right now, this has been my focus. I think it's not just about government. It's also about, the business sector doing that. I think when we saw, again, the woke ideology that has taken over corporate America for the last, decade or so, being on the forefront of combating that insanity, I think is fundamentally important. I think those two things have to go hand in hand. So the answer is, I don't know, maybe one day, that calling is there. I'll always be very active in terms of being a vocal proponent of these things. I think my father has truly changed, the Republican Party. I think it's the America First Party now, the MAGA Party, however you want to look at it.
Now, no different than more than 90% of what his father says when he talks about, well, we might do, we might not do, there's tariffs, there's not tariffs, we might change the name of this, we might do that, we might do this. That's Don Jr. So if he's sitting there, if you actually believe to yourself that Donald Trump Jr. doesn't desperately want to run and follow in his daddy's footsteps on top of the fact of just simply being the most powerful man in the world, if you think that sort of humble moment of humility that's rare from Don Jr., along with the very smattering of applause that he got, almost no one, and he even acknowledged almost no one clapped. If you think he doesn't desperately want to do that, then you're kidding yourself. But Lord Jesus help us all, I don't think Don Jr. would have a shot at getting elected. We can only hope. And so in the vein of not seeing, quote unquote, Trump 3, let's all make sure we stay out there, stay at it, don't let anything go, and as always, stay frosty.